Our intro music is provided by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com.
You're listening to my friend Gary Anderson on Night Dreams Talk Radio, the best in paranormal radio.
Well, I'm trying, John. I am trying. But you never know. Each day it has its ups and it has its downs. You know, in the news today, the climate warning just keeps going on and on and on. Now, the Republican candidates seem to be ignoring, well, the biggest threat yet, and that is, well, Earth changes. I don't know. You know, they need to really look and see what is going on. I mean, look all the hurricanes seem to be getting bigger, more powerful, and Antarctica is breaking up, and, well, it's slowly disappearing. Trump moves to allow more ethanol in our gas. What's that going to do? Well, I don't know. I tell you one thing, you're going to be paying a lot more for gas in the very near future. Now, in Great Britain, on the beaches, well, a bunch of weird shapes are starting to appear everywhere. Crop circles, now weird shapes on the beach? I don't know, but I got a funny feeling strange things are going on. You know, they're saying it now. The UN is saying our climate is going to be a major change by 2020. You know, that's just around the corner. And then by 2040, they said it's going to be major changes worldwide. I don't know. You can make fun of Al Gore all you want, but you know what? I think now he's starting to get that smile on his face like, I told you so. Well, anyway, tonight we got a great author of books, KRISTEN Collins, and she's going to be on right after this.
Night Dreams. Scary Story Night on Friday nights. Call in at 9:30 p.m. Pacific at 1-253-203-6695.
Well, hi, Kristen. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
I am doing good. I mean, as good as an old man can do. You know, I lost our heat, and you know, like where you're at. I mean, it's not cold. I mean, maybe 70 to you is cold, but you know what? 70 to me is like, bikini weather down at the beach. Here, I mean, you know, our weather is starting to drop. I don't know. Anyway, why don't you tell everybody what you do?
Well, I am a part-time writer, and I am also a secretary as my full-time day job at my church, actually.
Oh, wow. Now, how could you write as many books as you've been writing and only be a part-time author?
Well, I write fast sometimes. If an idea is really coming to me, I guess I wouldn't really be a part-time author at that point. But, I can stay up sometimes till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning just writing on a story and writing 3 or 4 days in a row, and then I'll take a break, and here I come back again.
Well, I mean, how does your storylines and stuff, does it happen like when you go to bed, all of a sudden you start thinking about, well, this would be perfect for a book, or this would be a good chapter for the book, or does it happen when you're behind your computer typing away?
Well, the ideas come a lot from dreams. That's how they start off. And in the middle of the night, I'll get this weird dream, and then that dream starts becoming this idea, and then it just, what's the word I want to say, butterflies from there. It just expands, and it just gets more and more, and the next thing I know, I'm 15,000 words into a new story, and I just keep going.
Oh, wow. Now, how long have you been writing books, Christine?
For 2 years now.
Well, what got you into writing? I mean, is it something you always wanted to do, or is it just something you went to bed one night and you woke up and you go, I want to write a book?
I have lupus, actually, and I spent a lot of my childhood indoors because I couldn't be outside. And so I had to find ways to entertain myself and my childhood, And a lot of that would either be doing artwork or like painting or coloring, drawing, or, writing little silly kid stories. Nothing big. I mean, I don't have anything from when I was a child. I did do a lot of story writing, especially in school, for classes. But about 2 years ago, I wasn't able to work at the time. I was really, really sick with lupus, and I just picked up a pen and I started doing artwork. And within 2 weeks, I had over 40 drawings. And then after that, I had this dream about Sandman, and that dream about Sandman, just started turning into this crazy story about two worlds, Sandman and Boogeyman. And I was like, wow, I read a lot, and I never read a story really about the two that really stuck out. So I just started writing, and I didn't stop writing. And then a couple months later, I had a story written.
Oh, wow. So anyway, may I ask you, because there's some people that don't know what lupus is. Can you, I don't want to impose on you, but can you explain to the listeners what it actually is? Because, I mean, I'm sure there's some people out there that really don't know what it is. And, like you mentioned, when you were a child, you couldn't go out and, outside. What are the limitations and when you have the outbreak, or if you do have an outbreak? I'm not even sure myself on it. So, if you could explain a minute about that, that would be really awesome.
So lupus is an autoimmune disease, and as a child, it was only in my skin. So I would get this butterfly, what they call a butterfly rash. I literally just woke up one day at school with this rash from head to toe, and they thought for over a year that it was everything from poison ivy to poison oak. I live in the hill country of Texas, so I mean, all those were very viable options, but I never got better, and I was only getting worse. I was very fatigued and very sickly, and none of the medicines and antibiotics were working. And then they finally took a biopsy of a spot on my arm. They took a little piece of my skin, and they actually said I was allergic to the sun. And so being allergic to the sun, that's really back then, it was in the 90s. So in the 90s, they really didn't know too much about lupus. It was still kind of a new thing. You did see on TV, in the news, people that wore like space-type suits and could only go out at night. I fortunately didn't have to wear a spacesuit. I could get by with just wearing long-sleeve shirts, pants, titty shoes, long, big brim gardening hats, and lots and lots of sunscreen. But just to be on the safe side, they kept me inside away from the sun for my own safety, so I wouldn't get sick. And as I got older, and actually after I had my last child, it actually turned into systemic lupus, and I still had the discoid lupus, which was in the skin, but now it affects my internal organs as well. And lupus just really, it's a lot of fatigue. It's a lot of just being sick at random. And it's called the invisible disease because you can't really, you would think somebody had like a cold or the flu by how sick they get, and it just happens so random. A lot of people like me run fevers at random, and they're just low-grade fevers, so there's nothing you can really do about it. So, I mean, it can be a very debilitating disease that people suffer with, and there's wonderful support groups for people that suffer from it, but it can shut down your organs. Like, it could give you heart failure, kidney failure. I mean, there's a lot of other type of diseases that stem from lupus, such as like Crohn's disease or IBS or, other things like that.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know all that. So, I mean, there might be people walking around, younger people that have it and don't even realize it, why, maybe they're getting a rash or they're tired all the time and, feel like they're sick all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's something.
It happens a lot, yes.
Wow, and there's no cure for it, I take it.
Nope, no cure. You have it for your whole life, but there's wonderful treatments out there for it and that help you cope with it. Me personally, I have learned over the years that staying indoors from 11 to 4 and less exposure to the heat and the sun actually keep me pretty healthy to the point that I don't have to have a lot of medications for myself.
Well, maybe you should consider moving to Washington State or Oregon. Bad joke, though. I mean, out of the year, you got about 8 months of cloudiness and not hot heat or anything. So, of course, that might change. That could change with the climates here shortly.
Yes, that's true. I actually visited Cantwell, Alaska on a mission trip not this summer, last summer, and I was actually able to be outside the majority of the time and not be sick because it just wasn't hot, and I don't know what it was with the climate. It was amazing. I was actually able to be outside more than usual, and it was wonderful.
Oh, wow. Now, getting into your books, I mean, you mentioned that you're a secretary, you work at a church. How's the church? I don't know what religion, and I don't want to get into that, but how do they take it? You're writing romance and paranormal books, that are all tied into the paranormal. How do they take it? Because I know some churches kind of frown on the paranormal big time.
Well, they don't say anything to me about it. I mean, a lot of my books do have some of my belief systems in it that I don't really believe, that Sandman and Boogeyman exist. It's all fake books for entertainment. But I mean, I write clean books. My best friend is actually my my model on. Do you think this is PG still? I like to keep my books pretty PG, and but they don't frown on me for it. They're very supportive of me. My church is my family. I mean, it'd probably be different if I actually believed all this stuff was real. But I mean, just for entertainment purposes, it's not that big of a deal at all, actually.
Well, you know what? The Boogeyman